Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Wednesday topical video with us, the dynamic dudes, the twosome that make up the British Feast. Kaching indeed. I am Mr. Parkin, sporting a very bright yellow shirt today, and this guy sitting next to me, it's NJ.
What's up?
By the way, just because he's wearing black, it doesn't mean he's a goth. And Terminator NJ is nowhere to be seen in this video. Subscribe or above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on what we're going to be talking about and discussing in this topical video down in the comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the link in the group box below.
Yeah, you know when I was about to say comments, I almost said description. I don't know why, it just came across my head. But so in today's video, as you can see by the title up above, we're going to be giving some of our thoughts. We haven't really addressed them properly yet in our reviews. We're going to be giving some of our thoughts on the potential Triple H versus Brock Lesnar storyline. Just give our thoughts on what we think of it, what could come of it, and we're going to just talk about give our little theories about what's going to happen in this feud, aren't we?
We are, because this is an interesting thing at the minute, because obviously with Lesnar's progression since he came back and going towards WrestleMania, there's a lot to talk about. There'll probably be more related videos to this in the future, but this is a certain point for the next feud that Lesnar's entering.
I mean, in the sense that Lesnar is actually quite an important part of WWE's product right now, in the sense that he is, like, you know, the most, I guess you could say, the most interesting character out there. It is important that WWE use this guy because they pay him $5 million a year. And I think it's very important on the issue that you've got to use this guy correctly, in the sense that you've got to put him in the right feuds with the guys that are going to balance themselves out in terms of interest and long-term, you know, the long-term of it as well. What's your thoughts on the way they're doing this right now? Then this whole storyline between him and Cena, No, that's gone. Him and Triple H, your favourite.
Well, the thing about this, it's not just a feud between Triple H and Lesnar. It's also Laurinaitis, because Laurinaitis being there, making all the plans, screwing Triple H, showing that he's the boss of both shows at the minute, trying to outdo Triple H and all that. The way they built up to this particular moment when Lesnar attacked Triple H, I think they've really done it quite well. Swooped in, you have Laurinaitis abusing his power, getting Triple H involved, Laurinaitis having Lesnar by his side. It's definitely warmed it up and made a good way to go into this feud, I think.
The storyline is potentially very interesting because you had the whole thing with John Cena, which then led on to this, and it seems like they're cultivating this for maybe a big pay-per-view or a pay-per-view down there, and they're giving this a lot of build. And, you know, you've had Lesnar on TV a lot lately. Whenever Lesnar is on TV, the segments are generally pretty interesting, aren't they, really? Let's face it.
And the saying about Lesnar, whenever he's on TV, is someone's going to get hurt.
Exactly. It's just a shame he hasn't been on TV lately. It is working very limited dates. The feud itself between Triple H and Lesnar has been built up. The storyline's been built up. It is rather interesting, and I do look forward to seeing a payoff in the feud itself. And with Lesnar working very limited dates, you've also got you've had Paul Heyman filling in for him, which is kind of added to the intrigue a little bit, because Paul Heyman is a name which most of us recognise. He's representing Brock Lesnar in this whole thing. That's added a little bit more to it, which I think it kind of needed, because Brock Lesnar isn't there. And you do need that guy to sort of fill in, that bit of name power to fill in for Lesnar when he's not there sometimes.
Because that's the thing, before we get into actually the opinion about Paul Heyman returning, the whole firing Brock Lesnar thing and the whole quitting thing and all that kind of thing floating around because of his actions and doings, it's kind of got me thinking, yes, they're trying to keep Lesnar off TV because he's the right to travel, but at the same time, the way that they just had him come in, be the monster he is, and all of a sudden go out quickly. Maybe it's not the best idea, but it is a way to keep him off TV. But it's kind of disagreements in, are they doing it the right way for Lesnar, or could they have kept Lesnar in and just done it a different way than the whole quitting thing? Because then that obviously leads us on to this lawsuit thing, which we all saw, and how we got different opinions about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one big thing about this feud is that you've got the addition of Paul Heyman in there. It does have the potential to be very interesting. I think at some point you're gonna have to have Brock Lesnar return, maybe a pay-per-view or something, and you got to ask yourself, when will this match be? Like I think a lot of people, us included, will think that, well, you'd want to build this up to a SummerSlam, a big pay-per-view like a SummerSlam. But there are some people out there, there are some rumors out there saying they're going to build this to No Way Out because they don't really have like too much interesting stuff going on in the product right now. So they've got to use this feud to maybe build up buys for the No Way Out pay-per-view, which is coming up pretty soon.
Well, I do look at it, and people do complain that filler pay-per-views are not always the best interest because they're just matches to build up to the next pay-per-view. So for us to have a drawing match for a small pay-per-view is a good idea. And maybe they've got other ideas for Lesnar to pay someone at SummerSlam. So for it to be at No Way Out, yes, it's filler. But at the same time, if they've got a plan to back it up, so if there is something planned for SummerSlam, then I'm fine by it. But the first point of view, the fact you've got Triple H, the big guy he is, the one that should be in all these big, bad matches, and he's been put into a No Way Out main event or whenever it's going to be, it's kind of a bit, is it the right decision? So it's kind of got me a bit two-sided here.
I mean, you remember back in 2002 when Brock Lesnar was brought in, we never really saw a feud between him and Triple H, and to me it's something which probably should have happened at the time. But I know things have changed a little bit, but the prospect of a Lesnar and Triple H feud, despite the fact that Triple H is currently in his COO position, I should say, is potentially interesting. I do think they should build this up to SummerSlam. They are trying to give it a slow build. They are using Paul Heyman to fill in some of those dates that Lesnar can't be there. I've got to admit, though, Lesnar not being on TV, it's really, I know he's only got limited dates and everything, but goddamn, whenever he was on TV, segments and the shows were generally so much more interesting than when he's not on the TV.
Well, with Lesnar being the big thing in the WWE right now, the thing that wondering what they're building up to, what's he going to do, and the fact that on Raw, he does make the ending interesting to stuff like that. With him not being there, it does lack. Yes, they brought in Heyman, but as we've seen from the crowd reaction, they're not really giving Heyman what he needs.
True.
So in a way, yes, Heyman's there filling in, but it's not really filling in, really. It's just doing Brock Lesnar's words, blah, blah, blah. It would be better to have the words from the horse's mouth, which have been Lesnar.
Exactly. I must admit, Lesnar isn't the greatest on the mic, but I think if they were going to do it, maybe have Lesnar go out to the ring, not say anything, but have Paul Lesnar speak for him, kind of like you would do in a courtroom, when you have the lawyer and everything there. Now, I think another question which a lot of people probably want to know our opinions on is, should Triple H be in this spot with Brock Lesnar? As I said earlier on in the video, I know you're a big fan of Triple H, NJ. As I said earlier on in the video, you really want to get the right mileage and give sorry, I'm botching again, and give Brock Lesnar the correct feuds. Do you think this is the correct way to go down? Do you think this is the correct feud for WWE to utilize like a Triple H, or would you prefer this feud going to maybe a younger guy who they can get probably more long-term investment out of, rather than a guy like Triple H who probably won't be wrestling for much longer? Now he's in like a higher CO. Now he's in like a TV COO position.
But if I was to be two-sided like I normally am, I'm going to say yes, Triple H is the right choice for a few reasons. Triple H and Brock Lesnar's never feuded. This would be a great time for them to actually fill that chance before they both finish for good or whatever route they're going to go down. And also the fact that between now and WrestleMania, Lesnar's got to be rebuilt back up to this big monster WWE wrestler. And so if he goes through Cena, Triple H, maybe Orton, build him up to WrestleMania where he faces probably a younger talent, or whoever the WWE champion is, or whoever wants to face at WrestleMania. I think the build-up to Mania is the important thing. With Triple H being a stepping stone, I have no problem with that.
I think no matter what we say, we need to admit this to ourselves. Triple H is a very good performer in the ring, a very good storyteller, and a very good character. I personally think that maybe this spot maybe could have gone to a younger guy. Maybe have Brock Lesnar go against like an Orton or something in SummerSlam, because at least with Orton you're going to be getting more longevity in the character rather than Triple H, who's kind of only around really temporarily now. But at the same time, wouldn't Orton or something like that be able to do the same thing as Triple H? Triple H is the COO, and you're having Brock Lesnar go after the COO and attack him, which generally, as we know, authority versus wrestler storylines are generally pretty interesting. Remember Vince McMahon and Austin? I'm just putting it out there.
That's the point I was going to come back to. With Triple H going against Lesnar, it's also going to combine with the first few points we made. It's also got Laurinaitis involved. So when he's finished with Lesnar, or when the Lesnar Triple H feud's over, Triple H will use that to go back against Johnny Ace, and they'll continue with that feud. So in a way, I think Triple H is the right choice for now. Like we said, it could be at No Way Out or SummerSlam. So either way, I think this is the right choice. But if I had to go with the no choice, you have all these other wrestlers that, yes, their booking's not been the greatest, but they could be used to go against Lesnar, have some kind of rub off him, and then pair off towards another feud going to WrestleMania. So in a way, they may be wasting No Way Out or SummerSlam to Triple H, but at the same time, I'm more thinking, for now, because the important thing is Lesnar's payoff at WrestleMania before he leaves. So at the moment, I'm sticking with Triple H is the right choice for now.
You've got to think Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania is going to bring them a lot of buyers. We've just had the most successful WrestleMania of all time in the sense of how much money they brought in, how many buys they had. And it is essential they do Brock Lesnar properly and really get their money's worth out of him because, like I said, they did pay $5 million. And a feud with Triple H in a temporary, couple of months feud while he's off TV going into SummerSlam could be a very good feud. I think my question is even though Cena beat Lesnar at Extreme Rules, which I know you're not happy about, and most of the YWC aren't happy about, but there you go, that's wrestling, guys. That's monster, superhuman baby faces for you. Look at Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, etc. Who could really go up against Lesnar? I mean, you've got The Rock, that's a potential match. Who could really go up against him and be a real legit force against him? That's my question.
Because we look at the wrestlers that the WWE are trying to build up. The ones they're trying to build up at the moment, obviously, talent that there's Punk, but we don't know what Punk's future is yet, because obviously he's bound to lose the title somewhere down the line. SmackDown wrestlers, there's no one really on SmackDown to face
possibly.
him. Not really the strongest of matches, but it's a good thing for Sheamus. But at the minute, WWE's book it's their fault. That's why Lesnar's one of the reasons why Lesnar's had to came in the first place.
True.
The power of their wrestlers at the moment are not there, and they're having to use Lesnar, other wrestlers, to help lift them up. So at the minute, there's not really many people that can go against Lesnar. The only hope is between now and WrestleMania, there is a swerve to give someone that chance and make us believe that person can beat Brock at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Lesnar, who's kind of up here in the interest range, and then you've got a load of guys here, and then a load of guys down there in the sense that do you really care about them too much? But I mean, overall, the thoughts on Triple H versus Lesnar is that it could potentially be a good match at SummerSlam or No Way Out. It will definitely be a main event. The way they're cultivating this and the way they've cultivated this over time with Brock Lesnar being off TV and Triple H with the no selling the broken arm at that boxing event and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like they're cultivating this to be a big match at some time down the line. I would hope it would be SummerSlam. Do you think WWE will be able to wait out that time? Maybe because they think to themselves, there's not much interest going on here. We're going to have to put it out sometime soon, kind of similar to the way they did with Lesnar and Cena at Extreme Rules straight away.
Well, the way I see it is that they are trying to make other feuds go at the same time. Like you have Punk and Bryan floating around doing stuff. Jericho's still there. Orton's still there.
Cena and Johnny Ace.
Ace still going there. So I think if they tried their best, they could make possible big matches to happen at these matches before SummerSlam. So in a way, yes, but at the same time, with Lesnar returned for this year, they want to use him as much as they can. So if they keep him out for, let's say, 2 months, whatever it is, it's not really, you've wasted 2 months of not having Lesnar there. That's what I'm kind of unsure about this whole quitting storyline. But we'll just have to see when he comes back.
Yeah, I mean, it has to essentially be built up to, in my opinion, a bigger pay-per-view. Will WWE wait that long, though? Who really knows if it gets to a point where the product is not really giving us too much interesting feuds along the line, they may put this out, as a main event of a filler pay-per-view, kind of like they've done in the past with Triple H, CM Punk, the kind of thing we thought would main event a bigger pay-per-view. But there you go. Do you have any more thoughts on this discussion now that we've kind of reached the conclusion?
Well, there's still people that don't like Lesnar and just think that he's here for all these different many reasons, just the same as those reasons for The Rock. But I see this as this feud that we're getting possibly, it's not actually been made yet, but obviously it's been hinted really strongly. And Triple H is saying that Brock Lesnar will have to go for it, has to prove himself and all this. So I'm really looking forward to seeing when it happens and what comes next to make us want this feud to actually take place.
Yeah, it should be, if these guys are a blow-off, it should be a good match. It should be a good draw to a SummerSlam, or even if it is a No Way Out, it should still be a good draw. I think WWE have really got to use Brock Lesnar as they're paying $5 million a year. They've got to use him, incredibly, impeccably, in my opinion. But there we go. Guys, you give us your opinions on this discussion video. Give your thoughts on the Triple H and Brock Lesnar feud down in that comment section below, of course. And now I will hand you over to the Right and Honourable NJ.
Here comes the pain, let's play the game. Until next time, people, from Mr. Parkin and the NJ, share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, people, goodbye.